Île is an island off the west coast of France near La Rochelle, on the northern side of the Pertuis d'Antioche Strait. Its highest point has an elevation of 20 meters. It is 30 kilometers long and 5 kilometers wide. The 2.9 kilometers Île bridge, completed in 1988, connects it to La Rochelle on the mainland. Administratively, the island is part of the Charente-Maritime département in the Poitou-Charentes region. The island is also a part of the Charente-Maritime's first constituency. Located in the arrondissement of La Rochelle, Île includes two cantons, Saint-Martin-de-Île eastwards and Arzen-Île westwards. The island is divided into 10 communes, from east to west: Rivière-de-Plage, La Flotte, Sainte-Marie-de-Île, Saint-Martin-de-Île, Le Bois-Plage and Île, Le Couart-sur-Mer, Pertuis et Arzen-Île, Saint-Clément-des-Ballons, Les Ports and Île. History. During Roman times, Île was an archipelago consisting of 3 small islands. The space between the islands was progressively filled by a combination of human activity and siltage. In the 7th and 8th centuries, the island, along with Oléron, formed the Vassité insulae of Vassitian islands, according to the Cosmographia. Since Vassité is another name for the Vascones, this reference is evidence of Basque settlement and control of the islands by the date. In 745, Hunald, the Duke of Aquitaine, retired to a monastery on the island. The island became English in 1154, when Eleanor d'Aquitaine became Queen of England through her marriage with Henry Plantagenet. The island reverted to France in 1243, when Henry III of England returned it to St. Louis through a treaty. In 1360, however, with the Treaty of Brittany, Île briefly became English again, until the 1370s. Capture in February 1625, the Protestant Duke of Soubise led a Huguenot revolt against the French King Louis XIII, and after publishing a manifesto, invaded and occupied the island of Île. He seized Île with 300 soldiers and 100 sailors. Further, he sailed up to Brittany, where he led his successful attack on the royal fleet in Blavet. Although he could not take the fort after a 3-week siege, Soubise then returned to Île with 15 ships and soon occupied the Isle d'Oléron as well, thus giving him command of the Atlantic coast from Nantes to Bordeaux. Through these actions, he was recognized as the head of the Reform, and named himself Admiral of the Protestant Church. A few months later, in September 1625, Charles, Duke of Guise, organized a landing in order to recapture the islands. With the support of the Dutch and English navies, the fleet of La Rochelle was defeated, as was Soubise with 3,000 men, when he led a counter-attack against the royal troops who had landed on the island. The island was invested, forcing Soubise to flee to England. Siege of St. Martin d'Île in 1627, an English invasion force under the command of George Villiers, Duke of Buckingham, attacked the island in order to relieve the siege of La Rochelle. After 3 months of combat in the siege of St. Martin d'Île against the French under Marshal Toiras, the Duke was forced to withdraw. The English lost 5,000 out of 7,000 troops during the campaign. Later history. The main port is St. Martin, was fortified by Vauban in 1681 as a component of the belt of forts and citadels built to protect the military harbour of Rochefort. It was later used as a depot for convicts on the way to the penal settlements of New Caledonia and French Guiana. Prisoners included Alfred Dreyfus, en route to the penal colony of Devil's Island after his conviction for treason. The old city of St. Martin, within the walls of the citadel, was added in 2008 to the World Heritage Site list, along with 11 others fortifications of Vauban across France. During World War II, the beaches of the Île were fortified by German forces with bunkers, in order to block a possible seaward invasion. Many of the bunkers are still visible, in a more or less derelict state. Several scenes of the 1962 movie The Longest Day were filmed on the beaches of the island. Connection to the mainland. In 1987, a 3-kilometre bridge was built to connect the island to the mainland. Previously, the island was connected through roll-on roll-off ferries, which could accommodate vehicles and passengers. In peak summer time periods, the waiting time to board a ship could reach several hours. The bridge was built by Pertuis. Since then, tourism on the island has developed considerably, with real estate prices reaching very high levels. The easier transportation system has stimulated the purchase of holiday homes by people from major cities from the French West and up to Paris, who can visit for weekends, mostly in spring and summer. Using the bridge requires the payment of a fixed fee and makes it the most expensive road to use in France. The Paris-La Rochelle high-speed train trip takes just 3 hours, and then taxis or buses can be taken to the island. Île can also be reached from Paris by plane. It takes only 45 minutes to fly from Paris to La Rochelle Airport. The airport is located 5 minutes from the entrance of the bridge. Life. The area is a popular tourist destination. It has approximately the same number of hours of sunshine as the famous southern coast of France. The island is noted to have a constant light breeze, and the water temperature is generally cool. The island is surrounded with gently sloping, sandy beaches, which are a real treat for families and tourists. The island has a resident winter population of approximately 20,000 residents and a resident summer population of about 220,000. Since the local population is distributed all over the island, it seldom gets crowded. The island is covered by bicycle tracks, with many residents rarely using cars for transportation. Camping grounds and hotels abound on the island, as well as large supermarkets and all modern amenities. Many families stay on the island for the duration of the vacations. However, the island's native population has also been widely criticized for its allegedly insular nature and fear of outsiders. In May 2012, whisper campaigns and vendetta actions against a family that had immigrated from New Zealand forced it to leave after local authorities refused to assist. Nightlife consists of going to St. Martin. The main port is La Flotte, to walk along the quays and to potter around the shops, which are open late. Restaurants abound. At night, visitors can watch the buskers, have a drink or enjoy the island's delicious artisanal ice cream, all set in a family-friendly atmosphere. As a famous holiday resort on the Atlantic coast, the island has its fair share of celebrities, past and present. Among others, Jean Monnet, the father of European unity, singers Charles Aznavour and Claude Nougaro, actors Bernard Gerardo and Claude Rich, actress Carole Bouquet, writer Philippe Solis, Princess Caroline of Monaco used to still spend the holidays there. Lionel Jospin, who was Prime Minister of France from 1997 to 2002, retired on the island after his withdrawal from political life. Johnny Depp has also been spotted there. Oysters and fresh fish are always available. There is also a tradition in which the fishermen, upon returning from the sea, sell a small quantity of the catch directly on the quays, enabling them to buy a drink. Markets are open on a daily basis in the main towns and are a popular place to shop, taste and chat. Even the vendors in the markets come to the island on the holidays. Generally, they work only in the mornings, enabling them to enjoy the remainder of the day. A large variety of items can be bought at the market, such as comics, books, African articles, ceramics, clothes, artifacts, food, local specialities, tools and souvenirs. Miscellaneous. Nearby Fort Boyard, an ancient maritime fort, is currently used for a television game show series of the same name. Sport: golfing, horse riding, sailing, surfing, tennis, cricket. Media: Écoute-le-Hun, free information newspaper founded in 2007 and website. Gallery.